CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. So CSS is the language we use to style an HTML document. It describes how HTML elements should be displayed. So for now, don't worry about the cascading part, what that means, and just focus on the style sheets. So using CSS, we can determine the visual appearance of our HTML elements independent of the HTML itself. So consider the metaphor about the author and the publisher. So where HTML represents the author's work and CSS corresponds to the work that the designer does. So meaning to say, deciding how things look. So in the early days, there was no CSS. So any control over what the page looked like was done with tags that control the form of the web page. So tags like font, to choose a font, tag B for bold, I for italic were added to have some control, and that let your page be at the mercy of whatever browser the reader was using. So there are several problems with this approach. First, it violates our paradigm of HTML containing only content. And second, and more practically, the tags only applied where they were using. So, for instance, if you originally wrote your document with all the paragraphs indented with a certain amount, and then later you were decided to change the indentation, and then you would have to modify every single paragraph in your document. It would be nice if there were a central way to set such rules. For example, one place that said, I want all my paragraphs to be indented this much. So much like master sheets in a word processor. So CSS helps to solve this problem. So here's an example. Let's see CSS in action. So here is the HTML. We use paragraph tags here and the code tags. And then, so this is the first result wherein there's no CSS, just purely the HTML code. And here is another result that uses the CSS. So both of these uses the exact same HTML. So it is the CSS that makes them so different.